My girlfriend's mother announced at our engagement party that I wasn't good enough for her daughter. I smiled and said nothing. Then I handed her an envelope. We'd been together 3 years. Her mom, Diane, never liked me from day one. I worked in IT making decent money, but to her, I was just some tech guy. Her daughter deserved better. Someone impressive. Someone with status. Someone who wore suits to work instead of hoodies. Every family dinner was the same. Diane would ask about my job with this tone. "Oh, you're still doing computer stuff?" My fiance would squeeze my hand under the table. Her dad would try to change the subject, but Diane always circled back, asking when I'd move into management, when I'd get a real career, when I'd amount to something worthy of her daughter. I never argued, never defended myself, just nodded and let her talk. My fiance would apologize later. I'd tell her it was fine, that her mom would come around eventually. But 3 years in, Diane still looked at me like I was temporary. The engagement party was her idea. She insisted on hosting at her country club, sent invitations to everyone she knew. Her friends, her colleagues, her bridge club, everyone. The whole thing felt more like her event than ours. Crystal chandeliers, white tablecloths, waiters in bow ties. She kept introducing us to people, emphasizing her daughter's accomplishments while glossing over mine. The toasts started after dinner. Her dad went first, talked about how happy he was, how he'd never seen his daughter so in love. A few friends shared stories. Everyone was smiling and laughing. Then Diane stood up. She cleared her throat, looked around at all her friends, said she needed to be honest because that's what real love meant. That honesty was more important than politeness. The room got quiet. My fiance tensed beside me. Diane said her daughter was settling, that I was a nice enough person but had no real prospects, no ambition, no drive to be anything more than adequate. She said her daughter deserved someone who matched her energy, someone impressive, someone who could provide the life she was raised to expect. She looked right at me while she said it. Her friends were staring at their plates. Some looked uncomfortable. Others nodded slightly like they agreed. My fiance started crying, her mascara running. Her dad's face turned red. He started to stand up, but I touched his arm, shook my head. I just sat there, calm. Let Diane finish her speech. She went on for another minute, talking about standards and worth and not accepting less than you deserve. When she finally sat down, the room was dead silent. No one knew what to do. I stood up slowly, reached into my jacket and pulled out a manila envelope, the kind you use for important documents. Walked across the room to Diane's table. Every eye in that country club was on me. I handed her the envelope without saying a word. She looked confused, opened it carefully. Inside were printouts, bank statements, investment portfolios, property deeds, documents I'd organized specifically for this moment. Her face went white as she started reading. Turns out the boring IT guy had been quietly building wealth for years. I got into crypto in 2016 when everyone said it was stupid. Bought Bitcoin at $4,000, Ethereum at $200, sold most of it at the peak and rolled everything into real estate. 3 rental properties generating passive income. Stock portfolios diversified across growth and dividend funds. All of it documented in those papers. Her friends started whispering, leaning over to see what she was looking at. Someone asked what it was. Diane couldn't speak, just kept flipping through pages, her face getting redder with each one. My fiance walked over and took the papers from her mom's shaking hands. Her jaw dropped. She looked at me with tears still on her face, but now for a completely different reason. Her dad grabbed them next and started laughing. Actually laughing, loud enough that people turned to look. The whispers spread through the room. Someone's phone came out. Diane's bridge partner was reading over her shoulder and I heard her gasp. The energy completely shifted. People who'd been nodding along with Diane's speech were now avoiding eye contact with her. I walked back to Diane, leaned close so only she could hear. The numbers were 7 figures. "Your daughter isn't settling," I said quietly. "You just never bothered to ask what I actually do."